Hey everybody, hope this finds you doing well. This is Danelle here at Networkchain. Hope this finds you doing well. There was plenty of news stories that came out of the Bitcoin conference over in Las Vegas over the past week. Also, just in general, there's always something going on in the blockchain industry. So let's go ahead and get into it. As you can see, Bitcoin is currently trading just below $105,000 at 104,720. It's down about 3.72% over the past week. Ethereum's also about flat, currently trading at about $2,500. We see that XRP is down 6%, almost 7% over the past 7 days, currently trading at around $2.18. Solana is down over 10% at $156. Dogecoin, the largest meme coin of them all, down nearly 15%, currently trading at 19 cents. Tron and Cardano rounding out the top 10. So obviously altcoins are not doing great over the past week. Bitcoin is holding up a little bit, but it's also down. And obviously Bitcoin is the tide that rises all boats. So it is the leader, and we see that if Bitcoin is going down, then most likely you can see altcoins going down. We're not into that so-called altcoin season yet. We'll see if we get that sometime in 2025. It remains to be seen. But Bitcoin, after it hit all-time highs, has definitely come back for a bit of a breather. If we look at the chart, you can see here that we had all-time highs last week, and now over this past week, Bitcoin has come down just a tad, and we are looking to hold this $100,000 level. If we continue to do that, then there's definitely a possibility that we could continue to rise up and move towards all-time highs again. But as you can see, there's definitely a little bit of a similarity to the chart that we had during the bull run in 2021. So could this potentially be the last of the run that we have in 2025? Obviously, we don't know. A lot of things has changed in the macro environment, and we'll talk about that as we continue to see more interest from institutions and public companies, as well as people like me and you who are still looking to get into Bitcoin. And the spread of Bitcoin throughout the world continues to grow over time. So this could be different compared to where we were 4 years ago, but we also want to make sure that we let you know that there's always a possibility that we could have more volatility ahead. That's just the name of the game when it comes to Bitcoin. So you can see here, back in 2021, we reached the heights in November of 2021, 4 years ago, and then you saw that we went on a precipitous decline over the next several years before we started to see an uptick back in 2023 after we reached those lows in 2022. So just keep an eye out and just make sure that you consider the alternatives. It's not only up only when it comes to Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, but obviously, we do see that there's a possibility that we could continue to go up, particularly this year with all the great news and the deluge of demand that's coming into the space. But you never know. Bitcoin is volatility, and so we definitely could see some more moving forward. So definitely make sure to keep your eye out on that. So one of the companies that is bringing in demand into Bitcoin is GameStop. A lot of people have been waiting to get their announcement that they would buy Bitcoin. So they did finally buy $500 million worth of Bitcoin over the past week. They announced that they bought about 4,710 Bitcoin, which was worth around $500 million. And so the video game retail chain has struggled. We know they kind of were a part of the zeitgeist in Wall Street when it came to the one of the largest short squeezes of all time, when the GameStop shares went up exponentially. I don't recall how many X's it actually went up, but it was something ridiculous. So the GameStop craze was huge, and Robinhood, Roaring Kitty, and a lot of other hedge funds that ended up having to shut down due to the GameStop short squeeze and lost a lot of money. Since then, not a lot has happened with GameStop and the name GameStop. So people are saying that GameStop is using this as a strategy to hopefully add to their treasury, as well as potentially use these funds to buy more Bitcoin to add more value to their balance sheet as they continue to restructure, given that they are starting to close down some of their retail storefronts and move forward as AI and gaming continues to change over time. Also, over this past week, another big news story is that the U.S. Department of Labor has rescinded their guidance on cryptocurrency in relation to 401k plans. So, also in line with the Federal Reserve Board that also rescinded their guidance regarding cryptocurrency for banking services, or in banks, I should say, member banks. This is regarding cryptocurrency guidance with having cryptocurrency in 401k plans. So initially, their guidance was that you had to have and exercise extreme care. That was their guidance with regards to allowing the investing of cryptocurrency in 401k plans, which are retirement plans here in the United States. And so now they've removed that guidance. So basically, that gives some of these larger banks, and we'll also get to that in 1 second, some of these larger banks that are considering now allowing and offering cryptocurrency services, they will now have a little bit more of a green light to move forward with offering cryptocurrency services if they so choose. And so now it looks like there should be soon more possibilities and opportunities to be able to have access to cryptocurrency in a retirement account. So if we go here to this next story, here on Routers, you see that U.S. banks are starting to move closer towards cryptocurrency. We've talked about it in the past, but Morgan Stanley, for example, the largest U.S. bank, they will be offering and allowing for their clients to buy Bitcoin. They're not going to custody, at least as of right now. And the CEO has been has expressed his disdain for Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency industry for several years and for a long time. But now we see that they're turning course, at least partially, by allowing their clients to buy Bitcoin. Also, we know that Charles Schwab is working on making available cryptocurrency trading over the next year. As you can see here, the CEO says that the regulators are flashing pretty green for large firms to grow in crypto, and that those signals have reinforced Schwab's plans to offer spot crypto trading within the next year. Also, Bank of America is looking to potentially launch stable coins, and they say that the U.S. banking industry will embrace cryptocurrencies for payments if regulations permit them. So when you're seeing that a lot of these federal bodies are removing or changing their guidance on cryptocurrency, that is definitely part of that green light that the Schwab CEO is talking about, where these banks can now move forward with offering and considering cryptocurrency services. So another brokerage firm, Cantor Fitzgerald, which was at Bitcoin conference, which was this past week in Las Vegas, Cantor Fitzgerald just announced that they're going to be launching a gold-backed Bitcoin fund. So they're doing this in order to combat some of the volatility, as we mentioned earlier, that comes with Bitcoin. So this is just one of the many traditional finance tools that are coming on to the landscape when it comes to offering Bitcoin and crypto related to traditional finance services. So not only would you potentially be able to have cryptocurrency in your 401k plans and your IRA plans, for example, but now you are going to have opportunities to be able to buy and trade. We already have the Bitcoin ETFs. Now we're having other funds like this Cantor Fitzgerald Bitcoin fund that's going to be backed by gold to kind of combat some of the volatility. So this is just another indicator of all the demand and the tools and opportunities that are going to be available to people like me and you, as well as to other institutions that have to have and abide by certain rules with regards to what they can invest in. So a lot of these larger institutions, they, for example, will invest in MicroStrategy because it is a security and they can invest in that, or they'll invest in various types of bonds. But now that we're starting to look and develop more opportunities to have a Bitcoin potentially backed bond, be able to have a company like MicroStrategy that has a ton of Bitcoin on their balance sheet, these are ways that these larger institutions can have exposure to the underlying asset of Bitcoin. So we'll continue to keep you posted as that moves forward. And as you can see here, the Bitcoin conference, a lot of people have varying opinions about how the conference went and the people who were there speaking at the conference, because some people believe that Bitcoin conference should only be Bitcoin only, but there were some vendors that were related to other cryptocurrencies. But at the end of the day, it definitely seemed like there were a lot of people there who had got a chance to network with one another and learn a little bit more about Bitcoin and the various services around Bitcoin. So it seemed as if it was a success in terms of the number of people that came out to the Bitcoin conference. So they are going to be having it again next year in Las Vegas, and they also have the conference in a couple of other places around the world. So we want to continue to keep you posted every week like we do here on YouTube as well as on X and Instagram. So make sure to check us out there. Thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate you. And if you have any feedback, please feel free to reach out to us. We appreciate you watching. Thank you so much. We look forward to linking up with you soon on the network chain. Take care. Bye-bye.